Public service announcement. I need all my Titan fans to come on down. Grab you some popcorn, grab you a drink. Titans Colosseum in the building. Yeah, not, boy, I'm in the game. Still ballin' out, never change. I be reppin' my hometown for the whole city, really knew my name. Boss talk, I don't do favors. Yeah, we signing deals with the top players. We just started this lifestyle. We be having all kind of haters. I'm a madman, they better come get me. Wanna box me in, but I'm too shifty. If they come at me sideways, I'ma stiff on me like Derrick Henry. Now listen, we're not the same. EA Sports, boy, I'm in the game. I be reppin' my city, dog. Got a Titan logo hanging on the chain. Big money, big moves. New stadium on the way. Nashville, we hold it down. We the one team that you don't wanna play. They be trying to talk down on us. I just laugh at them and I walk away. I don't tolerate disrespect. Might shoot a fade, penny hard away. Big money, big moves. New stadium on the way. Nashville, we hold it down. We the one team that you don't wanna play. We be putting in the hard work, so we coming in with all kind of skill. I be living in the end zone. My finger roll like 20 Hill. What's poppin'?
Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to the Titans Colosseum podcast. Man, Firestone couldn't be with us tonight, but you already know he with us in spirit. RJ, what's pop?
What's going on, man? Good to be on the show again, man. You know what I'm saying? Been a long week, man, but hey, you know what I'm saying? We out here ready to talk Titan football. You know what time it is.
Yeah, for sure. And as y'all can see, man, we got a very special guest in the building, man. You can check him out on his podcast, the Jump Pass Podcast, man. I know the Twitter people know him, man. But for y'all who don't, you bullshitting. But let me introduce y'all to Ryan Harris, man. Y'all give it up for Ryan, man.
Thank y'all, man. What's up, man? What's going on? What's cooling with y'all? How y'all feeling?
Man,
Feeling good, man. What throw you up there, man? You know what I'm saying? Everybody can see you.
Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all give Ryan a follow on all his social media platforms. Ryan, man, what you got lined up for us, man?
Man, you know, I got another episode coming up, which was gonna, chop it up, talk about, all the big news that's going on right now. You know, Justin Jefferson getting his big payday. Also I'm gonna recap the Arizona Cardinals, off season. So I'm gonna start off a 32-team off season. So I'm gonna do it in alphabetical order. So starting with Arizona, and then all the way down to the Washington Commanders. So be on the lookout for a whole lot of content. So I'm gonna be kind of like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, just dropping episodes, man. Just dropping the episode back to back to back. So want y'all to keep up.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can't keep us waiting too long, man. But we gonna most definitely be there as soon as you drop, man. But y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about us, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the third. And man, Michael been on our ass, man. Hey, Mike, my bad about that one, man. That's all on me, man. I'm gonna own that one right there. It's my fault. But hey, we with you now, man. Appreciate you rocking with us. Hey, shout out to Cole. Shout out to Johnny Chief in the house. Shout out to Bryce and Haley in the house. Shout out to Sharp, man. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Sharp on his Twitter and all his other platforms, man. Hey, man, he holding it down for Grizzlies Nation. Hey, shout out to Trey, man. We ain't going to talk about what happened in Madden, but, man, shout out to Trey. Y'all make sure, man, look, y'all make sure y'all hit him up. Get your whip detail, peerpressuremobile.com. He going to take good care of you. Man, what's up? JG in the house. Terrell in the house, man. Hey, like I said, man, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about us, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Y'all ready to get to this two-tone beast.
You already know.
Let's get it.
Hey, let's get it, man. Hey, your boy Dinard Wilson, man, he coming in here with that energy, man. I mean, he literally coming in here with that Black Air Force One energy. And man, the fan base, man, he cannot do any wrong right now, man. He got up, talked to the media, and pretty much told you, like, hey, all that playing off coverage or whatever, I'm not with it, man. Press the left around here, man. But Ryan, we're gonna start it off with you, man. Your thoughts on Dinard Wilson and the energy that he's bringing to this team.
Man, it's about damn time, man. You know, that was when he starts talking about, oh yeah, we're not gonna play off coverage, we're gonna press. Man, it lifted my spirits, man. Because you know, if you've been a Titans fan for a number of years with all the different defensive coordinators we had, you know, we already know what's going on, man. If it's like 3rd and 3, you got corners 5-10 yards away from the wide receiver, and you know it's pitch and catch from the other team, man. So now you know we're in a situation. When I heard like, hey, we're gonna be physical at the line of scrimmage, we're gonna press these wide receivers, we're gonna be physical, we're gonna, you know, get it into their heads and all that stuff. That Black Air Force energy that he's talking about, that means that it's a different energy in the building. It's a way different energy, and you know, and honestly, man, I'm excited. I haven't been this excited in about 3 years talking about the Titans, man, because, you know, we've been through a lot, you know, as a fan base and as an organization. It's a lot of turnover that's going on, but it's looking good. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm excited about everything that's going on right now.
For sure. RJ, talk to him.
Man, I really like Dinard Wilson, man. I'm just gonna be real. He gonna be here for 2 years. That's about probably the max he's gonna be here, bro. Like, you see what he's already, the NFL team's gonna see the defense that we're gonna play, man. They're gonna be like, yeah, we need to, you know, we're gonna make him a head coach. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's gonna be here long, man. I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. Dude is a phenomenal defensive mind. I love that we're pressing folks, because to stop a top offense, you don't just let them throw the ball, you know what I'm saying, and let them pitch and catch all day. They're gonna beat you, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna put up their points. You got to get in these people's face. You got to make them mess up. You got to make them think about these blitzes that we finna start sending, man. That gets them off schedule, man. You got to get these top offenses off schedule, man. I remember watching Bill Belichick, man. I was on NFL Network one of these days, and he was talking about how he used to go against when he was with the Giants, the defensive coordinator for the Giants. He used to go against Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. He said the only way you're gonna stop them, because if you sit back and let them play, they're gonna tear you up all game. He said, well, you got to sit there and press them all game and get them all schedule, man. That's the only way you're gonna stop these top offenses. You know, he knew back then. You know.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Zoe, Michael, and Daniel in the building, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about us, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And what I like about what Dinard Wilson had to say was, or what he didn't say, I mean, he didn't really throw the old coaching staff under the bus when he was talking about these things or whatnot. It was more along the lines of, you know, this is what I do. Now, I can't speak on what the old regime did, but I can tell you that some formations, you know, you can't press on. I mean, you have to play a little bit off, but for Dinard, man, I mean, shoot, if he can press, he's going to press, man. And like y'all said, man, this right here is like a breath of fresh air for Titan fans, man, because I know everybody was tired of watching us line up 6 yards off of the wide receivers on 3rd and 2, just, letting them get upfield, letting them get into the red zone, and then trying to clamp down, in which this past season, man, it really didn't too much work. I mean, you started seeing, people getting beat, just right and left, and, we couldn't get any pressure with that, man. But he had something to say about the defensive line as well. I mean, he acknowledged that you got to win up front. I mean, you can press, do whatever, but you can't cover forever. So the pressure definitely got to get there in order for this thing to work.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, the line of scrimmage, you got to win at the line of scrimmage. It's still a line of scrimmage game. It's about the trenches. You got to have a elite defensive line. I feel like we do, with Jeffrey Simmons leading the way. So, we can win those, they can win those one-on-one battles with the offensive line. If we're going to press, then like you said, you can't press for long. Offenses are too smart, and wide receivers are way too talented to be held, for so long. So it's definitely a trench that still matters. So, you need to win at the line of scrimmage. So as long as you can win at the line of scrimmage, everything else is going to take care of itself.
Yeah, and Cheetah Bay, he also had something to say about playing press, man. He pretty much said that nothing wrong with playing press. Now, of course, in the Titans situation last season, we really didn't have the personnel to do it, but at the same time, I mean, you gotta give the defense, the offense, something different. I mean, if they know you lining up this far, I mean, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take a little easy yards, and then once you start thinking about, biting down, that's when they're gonna hit you over the top with it. But
I'll say this though. I mean, even when we did have the personnel, we still wasn't really pressing like that. I mean, when Malcolm Butler was playing good, you know what I'm saying? When that 2019 defense that we had good corners. I mean, Adoree Jackson was playing, he was playing a good role, playing good in 2019. So was Malcolm Butler, so was who else was on our secondary at the time? I think even KB will come down and play in the slot area now and then. You know what I'm saying? We still wasn't pressing. Like, it's just not Vrabel's defense, in my opinion. He want to sit back and let you make your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And come up and hit you. He was more so trying to hit, that word about the hit, than he was the actual stopping of the pass catcher.
Yeah, man. I mean, some teams you can do that with, but these elite caliber teams, I mean, nah, man, you got to put some bodies on them, man. You got to make them earn everything. But I want to get to Jondrick's comment. He said, will Sweat be ready about training camp time? Yeah, Sweat will be ready, man. I mean, they said they holding them out for, precautionary reasons. I heard something about a strain or whatnot. But RJ, I got a question for you. Are you concerned about Sweat right now?
Nah. Well, what should we be concerned about? You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting the Jared Stillmans, who else don't like Sweat, man? Tic Tac Titan, Tyler Roll. I'm not understanding what you guys want from Sweat. Like, we're in the OTAs without pads, bro. What is a D lineman gonna do right now? What is a D lineman gonna do right now? Why are we worried about our D line? I'm not worried about anything right now. Right now, until they put these pads on, till we get the training camp, that's when I start getting worried about players. I'm like, okay, he's not showing up. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they boy out here just running. This is none of this matters. None of this right here matters. What we're doing. We're just trying to get in rhythm.
Yeah, man. Speaking on doesn't matter. I mean, Brian Callahan, he had a comment about 7-on-7, and he didn't say it didn't matter, but what he said was kind of uses 7-on-7 to, experiment or whatnot. And I've been seeing some of our fellow fans, they been concerned about Will Levis, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, don't be concerned. I mean, they out there, labbing up things. I mean, RJ pretty much said it doesn't matter, but it does matter, because they trying to get things right. So when they get into training camp, they can hit the ground running, man. Ryan, did you see all that about Will Levis throwing the ball in the lake and all that foolishness?
Yeah, I'm not really too concerned. I mean, at the end of the day, this is still we still at the beginning stages of Will Levis's maturation as a quarterback. I mean, he's still learning to be a professional and how to navigate through things. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what RJ says, OTAs. We're not really talking about, we shouldn't be talking too much about who's struggling, who's not out there, who should be out there, or whatever the case may be. We just need to just make sure people are healthy, prepared going into training camp. And then once we get into training camp, make sure people are still healthy. And then that way we can prepare for the preseason and then the regular season.
Yo, Firestone in the house, man.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to you, man. Hey, have fun on your trip, man. I know you down there, wherever you at. I know you down there handling business, most definitely. But enjoy what you got going on, man. And we can't wait for you to be back with us on Monday. But another person, been talked about on here a lot, been talked about everywhere. It's Treylon Burks. And I don't know if y'all familiar with Trevor Maddox, but he comes on Jerry Stillman's show quite a bit. And he had some comments about Treylon Burks that just made me say, oh my God. I mean, I get you, but Jesus Christ, like why so harsh? I mean, he said that he was disgusted, and if it was him, he would cut him right there. I mean, he wouldn't even waste time. He would get Treylon Burks up out of here. And Derek Mason, he had a rebuttal to that. Derek Mason even said that he had to take time, step back, text some people to, talk to them before, he just jumped out there, because he really said he was about to go off. And, D-Mace, he been one of Treylon Burks' biggest supporters. But D-Mace pretty much said that, what Treylon was doing, I mean, some guys, they run drills at a certain speed. Some of them run at full speed. Some of them run it, hand speed. I mean, it just depends on what the coach is asking them. And he said that what Trevor said was irresponsible. And RJ, I'm going to get you to speak on that, man. Treylon Burks, man, I mean, are people overly critical about him right now?
I mean, even myself, I don't think they should cut Trey. I think that's just wild. They just cut him without getting anything for him. Like, nah, you need to, if you're gonna get rid of Treylon Burks, you need to trade him. You know what I'm saying? And me, I've been on Treylon Burks' ass this whole offseason. But I mean, it's like I said, right now we're just in OTAs with no pads. They're just running and running and catching. That's all they're doing. Like, so I mean, it's just too early to see what Burks is gonna be in this offense, man. I mean, we at least need to see what he's going to be in this offense before we think about letting him go. As for I think what you just asked, Marako, what was the last thing you asked me?
Yeah, I was pretty much asking you, man, are people overly critical about Treylon Burks?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's not because he's playing bad. It's just because he can't stay on the field, really. Like, because I mean, and then they was kind of when he got back out there, they wasn't really running his route tree that make any sense. Like, they was just having him running clear out routes, and I'm like, they're not even using them right. If I like Treylon Burks, the guy, you got to get the ball in his hands, and you throw on the ball, and you got to make him make plays when with the ball in his hands. Like, he's one of those type of guys. And it's like that was the problem that I had with under Vrabel's offensive coordinators. It's like they don't know how to use these players. They just forcing them into a system and telling them to do what they want to do. And I feel like Brian Callahan is going to use the strength of each player and use them the way they're supposed to be used, and we can actually see what they're going to be. So I mean, what we know, our wide receiver core could be really talented. It's just that we don't know, because Mike Vrabel kind of handicapped them a little bit by putting them in a 2 tight end set, and we didn't get a chance to really see what they are.
Right. Mm-hmm. Ryan, when you heard the news that Treylon Burks was playing special teams, man, what was your reaction?
Man, I was a little bit disappointed, but I'll try not to overreact. I'm the type of person I don't like to overreact to, news regarding the Titans, because, we really don't know, like, what's really the plan for a certain player. I think it's just kind of like trying to just see like what he can do what he's best at, because he's not going to be a number 1 wide receiver. He's not going to be a number 2 wide receiver. So they're just trying to figure out some ways to kind of say, okay, what can we do to make this guy, put him in the best position for him to succeed? I heard they talking about maybe make him a kick returner. That might be the route. You never know. But I try not to overreact to that kind of stuff. For me, I just think that Burks just needs to focus on, for number 1, staying healthy. That's the number 1 thing. And number 2, just you got a lot of veteran wide receivers now in this locker room. You got D-Hop, you got Ridley, you got Tyler Boyd. You got a lot of experience from different areas on the field, from the slot to the outside. So you need to, listen to those guys, take in as much information as possible, and then just focus on your health, making sure you can stay ready and stay healthy, because, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know when your opportunity is going to come back up to where you can be a big part of the offense. And, to RJ's point, I think Brian Callahan has a plan on how to utilize Burks. Just right now, they're just trying to figure some things out as far as how to use him, what he's best at, because we haven't really seen much of him over the last, 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. Let me get to some comments here. Michael said people still heard about the AJ Brown trade. Yeah, they'll forever be hurt until we get a bona fide wide receiver 1. Yeah, people gonna talk about AJ Brown, and they probably still gonna talk about AJ Brown, because to me that was one of the worst trades in NFL history.
Yeah,
but it was bad. But Amar, man, hey, Jared rocking with us, man. Shout out to Stillman, man. If he here it is, hey, Stillman, appreciate the shout out, my boy. And Zoe said Burks looks rejuvenated around the veteran receivers. Yeah, I mean, you can look at Treylon and tell. I mean, regardless of what's being said amongst, Titan fans or the media, when you see Treylon Burks at these press conferences or whatever, these interviews, I mean, he looks more upbeat. And I think he even said it this week that, yeah, I mean, when they were signing them wide receivers, I kind of took it personal. I mean, that's understandable. And I mean, I appreciate his honesty, because anybody else would have got up there and said, I'm just here because blah, 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 this, that. They would have gave you the old politically correct answer and shit, man. But Treylon, he's honest about it, and he's out there working, man. And although, he done had his episodes or whatnot when he wasn't so good in practice, he has done good things in practice. But let me go ahead and get to Terrell's comment. For real, still hurt, and we finally made it up for the most part. Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. I don't believe our coaching staff used our players right. I mean, and it wasn't just Treylon Burks, man. I mean, you can look up and down the roster and just see where the old regime wasn't putting some of these players in the best positions to succeed.
Yeah, I just don't see how Chig gets a bigger role, and he does worse than what he did the year prior, and I don't know about that, man. I mean, granted that we did have a bad O-line, which, I mean, we had a bad O-line the year before as well. So I said, at the end of the day, I don't know what I mean. I think that was more tied down in Vrabel's logic than me, or philosophy, more than it was the actual players, in my opinion.
Nah, yeah, man. I mean, shoot, I'm so glad we passed all that, man. I mean, and my reaction to when I heard that Treylon Burks was playing special teams, I'm not gonna lie, it really didn't make me feel any type of way, because I totally understood where they was coming from. Brian Callahan said it himself, like, you gonna be on this roster. I mean, you gotta find you something to do. Yeah. I mean, and plus too, I appreciate his transparency. I mean, that's one thing that this coaching staff has been doing throughout this offseason. Of course, we know they're not going to tell us every single thing, but just them, explaining things, elaborating about things, not, trying to get smart with people, not trying to look like the smartest person in the room when they at the podium, man. I mean, I can appreciate all of that, man. How you feel about it, Ryan?
Oh man, it's I agree with everything you just said. It's just, it's just a different energy. Like Brian Callahan, I can just tell he's a very approachable person. It's not to say Vrabel wasn't very approachable or very liked or whatever. It just Vrabel had an ego mixed in with his, with his approachness. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we didn't really care about it because at the time, through the first 2 or 3 years, Vrabel was winning. We were going to the playoffs, winning the division. He was coach of the year. Then the moment we started losing, we started to kind of look at it as like, yeah, we got to get rid of this man right here. It's kind of like, when you date a girl, at first you're like, oh man, she's so pretty. She can do this, she do that. She had an attitude problem, or she was like, or she was real mean and nasty or whatever. You already knew that, but you disregarded it because she was fine and she did all that other stuff. But then as time progressed, you like, man, I'm really sick of her. You know what I'm saying? It's time to move on. But you already knew she had a nasty attitude. But we already knew Vrabel had had an ego, but we disregarded it. But with Brian Callahan, it's just more of a breath of fresh air, transparency. Of course, he's not, like you said, you're not going to get everything out of him, but at the same time, a question is asked, he's going to give you a direct answer. You don't have to play a game of, what kind of game you're trying to play to try to figure out, okay, what is he trying to say? Is he trying to say this or is he trying to say that? You just already know what the direct answer is going to be.
Hey, JC Latham, man, I think he leaked some information there. One of the interviews this week, man. Brian Callahan, he was up there talking, and here comes JC Latham, come asking about tackle screens and all of that, man. And Callahan was like, "Oh, look, bro, you doing too much." And he said it, jokingly or whatnot, but they gonna have something dialed up for the bigs, man. I mean, that's just who we are at heart, man. I mean, we gonna go out here, try to pass the ball around more or whatnot. We trying to be a more dynamic team, but at the end of all this, man, the Titans, they've got to tap into that beat 'em up, bully ball type of football, man. They got to keep that mentality, because guess what? When it gets sticky in those games and you can't throw the ball all over the field, you're going to have to get dirty. You're going to have to put the ball on the ground, and you're going to have to be willing to get tough yards, man. And that's what I think some people are, failing to realize, or just, forgetting all about, because they thinking about, Dinard Wilson, he going to be pressing, and Brian Callahan going to be throwing the ball. No, I mean, and Callahan, he said it himself, like, we're going to try to be balanced. I mean, what we do in one game, we're not going to do it in the next game. We're going to, game plan everything around our opponent. But jumping back to defense, man, speaking about forgetting, man, I think people don't forgot about Harold Landry and all this, man. I mean, I'm expecting big things out of Harold Landry. He ended last season with 10.5 sacks coming off the ACL. He was the third player in NFL history to put up double-digit sacks coming off an ACL injury. And I actually wrote about that, man. If y'all ain't checked out my article on Athlon Sports All Titans, make sure you check it out, man. We got a great cast of writers on there, including Firestone, including RJ, man. So check us out on Athlon Sports All Titans. But Harold Landry, like I said, man, I mean, all Harold Landry does is come through in the clutch. And it just goes back to, when he first came into the league. I mean, he would start off slow or whatnot, but, as the game progressed, you could depend on Harold Landry to make a play. And what I'm thinking about right now is that strip sack that he had on Carson Wentz when we played the Eagles the year after they won the Super Bowl, man. I mean, and even this past season, I mean, Harold Landry, he was just showing up, in the clutch whenever the Titans needed something. Harold Landry coming through, big sack, or, causing a fumble or whatever, man. I mean, people are sleeping on dude, man. And I think in this defense, I think he could be in the running to be one of the best pass rushers of the year, man. How you feel about it, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm the biggest Harold Landry fan. I have not wavered from it, from the fandom. I know a lot of Titans fans and other fans want more from Harold Landry, but I mean, man had 10.5 sacks. I mean, what more you want from a guy that's continuing to produce year in and year out as long as he stay healthy? You know what I'm saying? So before the ACL, he had 12, 13 sacks or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was 12.
Yeah,
he was second team All Pro that year, man. Pro Bowler,
right?
Exactly. Pro Bowler.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as Harold Landry stays healthy, which I have no doubts that he will stay healthy, I think he's going to be able to produce. I think it's going to be another double-digit sack season. I mean, that's the expectation. That's the expectation I have of him because he's done it the last 2 healthy years. So, like I said, I'm the biggest Harold Landry fan. I'm not going to stop being his fan because I know what he is capable of. He is the X factor of that defense. He's going to be the reason. Like, if that defense is going to be a top 10 or a top 5 potential defense, it's going to be because of him. I know that Simmons is the best player, but he's going to be the X factor. He's going to be the reason why that defense turns it up another level.
RJ, how you feel about it, man? Harold Landry.
Yeah, man. I think Harold Landry's a good player, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't call him a premier pass rusher in this league, but he most definitely give you 10 sacks a season, man. That's all we really need from him, man. He's not our best player on that D line, man. So I'm more so, it's not even Harold Landry I'm worried about. I'm worried about the other side. What is Arden Key going to give us? What is the guy behind Arden Key going to give us? You know what I'm saying? I want to know what we're going to do on the other side. So all the attention ain't on just Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry on the left side, So Harold Landry, man, high motor player, man, never gives up, man, plays hard from snap one all the way to the end of the game, man. I always like that about him, man. And he's good in the run game as well, man. He got hella speed. So, like I said, man, I hope he gives us a big season this year, man. I would love to have 13 sacks from him, man. We can get that with Brian Callahan's offense, man. Most definitely, we'd be very good.
I want to say, the biggest question I kind of want to know from the new coaching staff is how they're going to use Landry, because I remember with Vrabel, Landry played like 98, 99% of the snaps. Mm-hmm. So I want to see if they are they going to rotate him, are they going to, decrease his snaps, things of that nature. So that's kind of the biggest question. I kind of want to see how the coaches are going to utilize him with this new defense.
Man, I think it's going to boil down to his supporting cast, man. I mean, and John, he brought it up in the comments earlier, man. Rashad Weaver, man, and he's another guy I'm looking forward to have a big season. I mean, he's in a contract season. I mean, you know how guys do. Well, some guys do in a contract year. We ain't going to call no names or nothing, but we had a guy in a contract year last season that, the Titans didn't re-sign him. He's on the West Coast now. But Rashad Weaver, man, I'm looking for him to have a big year, man, because he's been putting in that work, man. He pretty much switched up his training regimen where he had been, weightlifting for the majority and running in June and July. He started running after the season. I mean, he didn't waste no time, and you can tell too. I mean, dude is pretty lean up out there, man. And he spoke to the media this week, and TD, shout out to Teron Davenport too, man. But TD asked him a good question, man. He asked him about, how much more explosive did he feel? And Weaver said, I really can't notice it when I'm out there on the field, but when I go back and look at the tape, yeah, I look more explosive. And RJ, want to get your thoughts on Rashad Weaver, man, and what he can do for this defense if he gets back to form. Because not many people remember Rashad Weaver was, progressing. I mean, in his second season, he had 5.5 sacks. I mean, Weaver was most definitely showing up.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying on my last take was like, man, what's gonna happen on the other end of Harold Landry? I'm not too worried about Landry. It's more so what happens behind Arden Key and those boys, man. Because I just look at it like, man, if Harold Landry can step up, man, not Harold Landry, excuse me. If Rashad Weaver can step up, man, and give us 6-7 sacks, man, that's a big year for him, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know with Dinard Wilson, man, he gonna make sure that defense is on point. You see how they talk about him. You see how on point he is with his stuff. You see how whenever that play ain't right, man, we doing it again. You know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure the defense straight, man. I believe Dinard Wilson, man. He gonna have the defense right. Our defense ain't never been really the problem, man. I mean, it could be better, but it ain't never really been the problem, you know.
Yeah, man. We was definitely throughout, all off coverages or not being able to get any pressure at times, man. We definitely kept the game close, man. I mean, we made teams, work to get in that end zone. But Ryan, your thoughts on Rashad Weaver?
Yeah, I think Weaver is a solid player, a solid rotational player. He just needs to just focus on, getting better, just progressing and everything. To your point, you said that he had 5.5 sacks. I mean, this is another guy, rookie season, didn't have a rookie season. He took, he basically was out for the year in that preseason. And that preseason game, I believe, was against the Atlanta Falcons. So he missed his whole rookie year. Then he had a good second year. Then he kind of regressed from there. So, it's just back to being consistent. That's kind of been I think that should be the theme for a lot of these players is just being consistent, getting back to, playing winning football and getting back to doing the things that work for you and try to, improve as the season goes along.
Yeah, I don't think.
Hey, we got Mr. 12. Go ahead, RJ.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't even think during Vrabel's tenure, man, the front seven really ain't been a problem outside of 2020. You know what I'm saying? Ever since outside of that year, man, it really the front seven ain't never really been a problem. I don't think it's gonna be a problem this year as well. I mean, we'll see what our linebackers do, but I mean, I don't see our linebackers just playing horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll see though. Because I do like what I seen from Giddey. I like hopefully Kenneth Murray can carve out a role, man, and Cedric Gay, man. Hopefully he can live up to the hype as well and be a day one starter.
Man, we got Mr. 12 and 5 himself in the building, Josh Mickle, man. Y'all make sure y'all watch his podcast, Cast It to the King, man. Hey, what's up with you, Josh, man? I hope you're enjoying your Friday night, man. And, man, before I get to your comments, man, hey, shout out to Legarius Sneed because the running, man. You already know he a day one in the building. He said my issue with Weaver is that he has a tendency to overrun plays from time to time. Yeah, that's my only real problem with Weaver is him staying disciplined. If you could get him to stay disciplined, I mean, Weaver is one hell of a player. And, something that people don't acknowledge with Weaver. I mean, Weaver is, he got some pass rush moves. I mean, it ain't just, one move with Weaver, man. If you actually sit down and watch Weaver tape, Weaver got some moves. It's just, about him staying disciplined and if he gets this explosiveness going, man. I mean, shoot, the sky's the limit for him. And Michael actually brought up a good comment as well. He said, we don't need Weaver. We need Weaver to be the NWI of the defense. Don't need you to be an all-pro. Just make the play when it's there. Exactly, man. Everybody can't be and don't need to be the star, man. If you've been knowing me for a while, this is something I always say. Everybody can't be the dadgum star of the team. Everybody can't go up out there and get double-digit sacks, nor do they need to. All they need to do is be good within their role, and that's how you get a bigger role. Now, let me get to Zoe comment because I actually agree with you, man. Chris Harris, man, that's one guy that I definitely love with Dinard Wilson. I mean, he pretty much got that Dinard Wilson mentality, but with Vrabel around the last season, it was Vrabel's way or the highway. I mean, now Chris Harris can, match energy. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he get up out there in some black forces, man. But yeah, man. Hey, shout out to everybody out there watching tonight, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about us, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the third. And let me get to Michael's comment about the linebackers. Man, the linebackers, while I haven't heard too much of the linebackers, I mean, they granted, they can still, do some things in the 7-on-7 or whatever. But, with the linebackers, it's just like the bigs. I mean, we waiting to see them in pass. But Jack Gibbons saying, golly, I'm not gonna do this tonight. But Jack Gibbons, he had a good interception on Will Levis in practice earlier this week. And speaking of that right there, man, did y'all hear what PK had to say, man, about certain players being able to only interview certain players in these after practice or whatnot? I mean, he pretty much went on one of his PK rants. I mean, he, complaining about, Brian Callahan not allowing them to interview certain players and, the fan base jumping on Paul, in which Paul responded. Y'all talking about a negative, but, what would have been negative if I would have got up out there and asked Jack Gibbons about, him being unathletic and, playing more with his smarts and, asking the NWI about, whatever he was going to ask the NWI about. I mean, it was funny to me, man. But, man, RJ, you want to talk about it for a second?
I didn't get a chance to really hear what PK had to say about Josh Giddey interception, but I mean, like, I see people took it way out of context. Like, I seen every rival, like, oh, see, I told you Will Levis sucks. I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go, bro. One pick. But I mean, granted, it is, if I'm the Titans media page, I'm not going to have Will Levis throwing interceptions on camera, man. Like, that just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, your quarterback out here throwing picks. But I mean, it's cool to, if you're going to do it, man, at least cut Will Levis out so you don't know who threw the ball,
Yeah, man. And, it wasn't Titans media putting it about, it was the Titans media putting it about there, but it wasn't the Tennessee Titans putting it up out there because, they got certain days to where, they can come out there and, grab footage or whatnot. And they just so happen to grab a footage of Jack Gibbons making an interception on Will Levis. And, I'm not tripping about that right there, man. I mean, Levis, he in the process of changing his throwing mechanic, man. And he talked about it. He said, he feel like, quarterbacks are weirdos. They always, tweaking something, man. And when he said that, I was like, yeah. I mean, that right there, I mean, that gives me more faith in Will Levis becoming that dude, man, because he just understands it. He understands what it takes to be a high caliber quarterback in this league. But the big question is, will he do that? Ryan, your thoughts on Will Levis overall, though?
Man, when Will first got drafted, I was one of those folks who was like, man, damn, we got Will Levis. But then at the same time, when I saw some of the highlights, and I was like, I see why the Titans made that move. I mean, because he got the arm, he's very smart. And then, of course, the incident that happened a couple of weeks ago with the tape and everything. So I always feel like with quarterbacks, you gotta do something wacky. You gotta do something crazy and silly or whatever. Because with Patrick Mahomes, it's not really just Patrick Mahomes. People don't like his family. Or it's like, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got all this crazy stuff that he talks about off the field. So I always felt like, quarterbacks, the best quarterbacks in the league, there's something that the other fan base ain't gonna like, regardless of what your quarterback is doing. So when I see other fan bases like the Colts and the Texans and the Jaguars clowning Will Levis for every little mistake that he does, it lets me know that we probably made the right decision at quarterback. So I feel like, to me, Will Levis, my biggest concern is just getting more snaps, just being able to play more. He only played 9 games. So that's not a lot, and it's not, and that's hard to determine if that he's the guy or not. So I just need him to just stay healthy. You got to improve offensive line supposedly, and we got Bill Callahan as the as the offensive line coach. Focus on your mechanics. You know, the O line I feel like is going to improve, and just connect to those weapons that you have, and everything else is going to take care of itself. So I'm real high on Will Levis going into 2024.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the O-line for a second, man. Right guard in particular, man, because it seems like it's a real battle, man. I mean, it's a 3-man battle up over there. I mean, you got Dylan Radins. He could potentially be a starter. Of course, Daniel Bronskill started last season. He had a respectable year. And then you got Sadiq Charles. He is a guy that people thought that the Titans brought in for depth, but this guy's out there competing. I mean, he was taking starting team reps this past week, and he talked about it too. Of course, he downplayed it as he should, but I mean, just for him being out there with the first team, man, I mean, it would not surprise me at all if Charles ends up being the starting right guard, because I mean, he has starter experience, and I don't know why people didn't talk about this when he first signed. Maybe it's because he came from Washington or whatever. Washington, they just as bad, if not worse, than the Titans offensive line. I say Titans offensive line was worse, but I mean, yeah, Charles, he could be a dude that could take over that starting right guard job, but right tackle, that's a whole nother story. That's kind of what my concern is, man. RJ, you want to talk about the right tackle situation and how concerned you are about it?
I'm concerned, man. I mean, granted, it is Bill Callahan. At the same time, you're gonna know what to do. You know how to probably fix that problem, or at least make it where it isn't as bad as we think it is. But I don't know, man. I just don't think we got an answer right now. I really didn't like what I saw last year from Nicholas Petit-Ferrer. Jalen Duncan has potential, but I don't know if he's going to reach it by week 1. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got over there? Redunce. I mean, so for what I've heard, he made improvements, but I don't know if he's ready to play the starting right tackle. Like, it's a lot, man, to play tackle in this league, bro.
Yeah. He said he talked with Bill Callahan, and Bill Callahan pretty much told him that, you're a guard, man, but he's got right tackle experience, though. So, I mean, in a pitch, he may be playing up over there, but the guys that's in the running for the right tackle position, man, and this is why I say I'm concerned, is Jalen Duncan, Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, and I forget the other person's name. Good God, it's right down the tip of my tongue, man. But yeah, that's just how bad the situation is at right tackle. Ryan, talk to him.
Yeah, I really don't know who's going to be starting at right tackle. I don't know. I really don't know who's like the favorite. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we as a team, we had so many holes. We couldn't really fill up all the holes. You know what I'm saying? But we did the best we could with the money that we had in the draft that we had as well. I just don't know. I mean, it was a rotating kind of thing last year, and everybody struggled. So I kind of feel like it's going to be the same thing. The good news, I guess you could say, is that we got Bill Callahan, and he can kind of figure out something who can be the best guy for that role. But that's kind of like the biggest concern for this whole team, is really the depth across the board, especially in the offensive line, and particularly the right tackle spot.
Yeah, man, I can see a situation where we ain't got to worry about the left side, man. JC Latham, he gonna be our left tackle. Peter Skoronski, our right tackle. Cushenberry, he's gonna be our center. Right guard, I'm not concerned about, because whoever takes over, I know that we're going to be good at that position, and we're gonna have some depth at that position as well. It's just the right tackle situation. And I could see where whoever doesn't win at right guard position or whatnot, or I need to say that. All right, so whoever wins that right guard position, they'll take, the next guy, maybe put him at right tackle because, you got Bronsko who played right tackle, and then you got Charles who's played right tackle, and then you got Ravens that's played right tackle. So, I mean, all three of these guys, I mean, they're versatile on the offensive line. They played multiple positions. So, I mean, I could definitely see them going that route.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of, honestly though, I mean, the Titans have had right tackle problems since Jack Conklin left. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's been a struggle for years with that position. So I mean, I like your point. I think that there's a lot of players on that O line that's played right tackle. I'm pretty sure that we could find somebody that can hold down the fort, even if it's just for this year. Just get somebody to hold down the fort until a more talented right tackle, comes along.
I'll say this though. I mean, like, right tackle isn't as hard to find as a left tackle. Like, you can find right tackle, you know what I'm saying? Now, left tackle, you gotta go top 5 in the draft, top 10 in the draft to get you a left tackle, man. That's why I wasn't like, for anybody that was upset about their draft, man, like, you don't just get the JC Lathams at 7. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a guy like JC Latham, you getting top 3. You get what I'm saying? So, like, and I just look at it like this though, like, man, we're going to find a right tackle solution, man. Whether we're going to have to go to another team, we have to steal it off a practice squad. Because, like, you got to remember, after this training camp, after this preseason, there's going to be a whole lot of players, man, that we can pick up, man, that fit our, depth and all this other stuff. Man. It's going to be – we're not done yet picking up players, man. Like, we still got a long journey to go, So, right now, we just OTAs.
For sure, man. Let's talk about JC Latham before we get up out of here, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. He's another guy, he just gets it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time that, he talks to the media, man, I mean, he just says something that just makes me proud, man. And this week, man, he talked about getting drugged off the field, man. I mean, and what I mean by that is, if you know JC Latham, JC Latham works. I mean, they have to tell him, dude, get your ass off the field, man. That's enough for the day, man. He always trying to get in extra work. And that's the type of leadership that we've been missing on this offensive line. And he talked about it, and he pretty much just said, like, they got into a pinch back in high school or whatnot, man. Some of his teammates went down, and they switched them over. I think he said they switched them over from defense to offense or whatnot. And, he had to put in extra work to, be able to make that move. And he also talked about Kobe Bryant and Kobe's mentality. You already know Mamba mentality or whatever. But he mentioned that, Kobe felt like if he put in extra work, if he practiced, twice or whatever, he could learn more. And, him being, say for instance, Kobe out there in his second year or whatever, he felt like if he practiced more, instead of playing like a second year player, he would play like a fourth year player or whatnot. And JC Latham, he's got that type of mentality. I mean, he just, always constantly working. And Ryan, I'm gonna get your thoughts on JC Latham, man. I mean, is this a real leader in the making?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he's a dog. I mean, his tape was great at Alabama. I mean, I'm a Vols fan, so I saw it firsthand. So I mean, he's a dog. And when he mentioned about Kobe, of course, Kobe, my favorite basketball player all time. So I already was sold, from the moment he started talking about the mama mentality pretty much. And he just, like I said, he's a dog. I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to continue to, strive. I do see leadership qualities. Of course, you might see it as a rookie, but once it gets year 2 and year 3, it's really gonna stand out. Don't be surprised he wears that C on that Titans jersey like year 2. As early as year 2. So I'm not worried about him.
He does got that type of impact, man. RJ, go ahead and talk to him, brother.
Yeah. I think I'm starting to believe that JC Latham is my favorite player out the draft, man. And man, just that with that strength that he has, man, to go along with work ethic, man, dude could be a all-pro left tackle, man, and probably all of next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe this guy is that good, man. When I like I said, when Vols fan too, I got a top 5 pass rusher, you know what I'm saying, college football, bro. Like top 3, honestly. Like James Pearson might be the best pass rusher in college football. And he ran away from JC. Like he couldn't do nothing on him, man. He couldn't do nothing on him, man. And you know what I'm saying? If he could stop him, I know, man. He ready for the league, bro. He's probably not gonna shut down a Myles Garrett or nothing, but they not getting 3.5 sacks. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get about 1 sack the whole game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that dude, he's probably one of the strongest linemen I've seen.
For sure, man. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we get into some games and we just all out forget that JC Latham is out there. And with offensive linemen, if you forget they out there, that's a damn good thing, man. Because if you're starting to notice an offensive lineman, I mean, either they doing something just real fucking spectacular, like mauling a guy, pancaking a guy. But more times than not, they getting a penalty or, getting thrown out of the game or getting their ass whooped. And there was a lot of that going on last season. And I don't expect that out of JC Latham. Honestly, my expectations for JC Latham this year is just hold y'all. I mean, I'm not going out there. I'm not going to, look at you going out there as, all pro in your first year or whatnot. I'm not looking for any of that. Just go out there, hold your own, man. Protect Will Levis more than not. I mean, don't be a liability. I mean, long story short, just hold it down, man. If he does that, that's a good damn rookie season. But we're going to go about it. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here for the night. Ryan, it's been real, bro. We got to get you back on here. Tell the people where they can find you.
Man, I appreciate y'all with the invite, man. I had a great time with the show, man. Y'all can follow me on Twitter, X, or we call it Twix, at Ryan Harris 662. We can also follow the Jump Pass at the Jump Pass TN, also on Twix as well. Shout out to my team out there at LBR Media. Make sure y'all follow them as well at LBR_media on Twix as well. We got merch too, just like, Colosseum got merch. I got to make sure I get some merch, man. But make sure y'all get some merch for LBR Media too. Website is www.lbrealmedia.com, and we got a lot of different stuff. So, check us out.
Yeah, man. Boys holding it down up over there on the west side of Tennessee, man. And hey, like I said, man, appreciate you joining us tonight. I feel like it's been a long time coming, man. Been wanting to get you on here for a while, but me and timing, man. Everything with me is all about timing, man. With me, timing has to be proper, and I felt like this right here is the time. And like I told you before the show started, man, we got to get your boy P Shark on here, man. P Shark, if you still with us, hey, you're finna get an invite soon, man. We gonna most definitely chop it up, man. But RJ, you done had a big week yourself, man. I mean, shit, pop your shit, bro, man.
Hey, man, like I said, man, if you ain't heard it yet, man, the 1993 is out, man. It is an amazing song, man. I'm getting so much great feedback from it, man. I mean, it's getting on playlists on Spotify, man. Getting sent to music blogs, man. It's doing damage, man. And hopefully I can just ride this momentum. I got some more songs coming out as well, man. Y'all check it out, man. Also, what I'm saying, if you like the intro song, man, we got a new one on the way, man. And man, I'm telling you, man, we doing big things, man. So. Yeah, keep watching.
Yeah, man. Download that original intro song, man. It's banging, but this second one, hey, we bringing the heat, man. I mean, it's right around the corner. So make sure you tune in, man. But hey, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Make sure y'all stay safe out there, stay blessed, and turn the fuck up. Let's go.